we had beat them at Prince George. Quincy had the game winner. So like we going crazy.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't wait to play us again, bro. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, we hype, they hype. Bro, halftime, that shit wasn't even a game.
Yeah.
Bro. This shit was over in the first quarter. Like they came out making, I think it was like 20-0 at half, like the first quarter. I'm like, damn, these niggas making everything, bro.
Man, I remember we went down to Prince George and it was a close one, and Brax hit like a half court game winner, but they called it off.
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
But bro,
I think that's when Sterling had dunked on somebody.
Yeah.
And Braxton, they called it. I'm like, yo, they reviewed that. That was good.
I'm glad there was no cameras back then.
Like, he shot it from the other
free throw. Yeah,
like,
cash.
It was like cash. I'm like, yo,
I was like,
we got to run that back because he definitely, like, bro.
Man, I was so happy we got out of that because I was like, you ain't going to hear that. You ain't going to let that down ever.
Nah.
Ever.
Nah, bro.
But shoot, let's go ahead. We've been talking. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Hey, welcome to the Just Action Podcast, where all we do is take action. And today we have a special segment where it's called The Great Journey, where we have real people and have real conversations with them. I'm the one and only Holliday Season. You're here for a reason. And today, as you've been hearing us talk about basketball, I got a good friend with me. We're going to talk about hoops and much more. My boy Nate, the great Nate.
What's up with y'all, man?
What's happening, brother?
Can't call it, man. Can't call it.
Hey, man.
As the old people say, can't call it, might spoil it.
I might spoil it, man. Hey, I've been saying that people don't never get it. They'll never get it. So I'm glad you with it.
I can't call it, I might spoil it.
Hey.
What that mean? Hey,
I can't
tell you.
I can't.
I tell you, I'm gonna spoil it. You know,
I can't. Man, how's life with you, bro? How's everything?
It's good. It's been a little shaky. As you know, personally, I've had 2023. So in July, it will be 5 years since I've had a heart attack. I had my heart attack, and then it'll also be 3 years since I had open heart surgery. And I just came up on 2 years from a car accident as well. So
yeah, bro.
It's like, bro, I tell people all the time I've experienced near death 3 times in my life, and all before the age of 25. So.
Blessed to be here, bro. I'm glad you're here, bro.
Big blessing, bro.
Yeah. And what we'll jump right into, we'll get back to hoops because that's just natural. But silence the critics, bro. I want to dive into that and kind of just explore what you're doing with that, what it is, what's the big plan behind it, because I think it's a dope mission that you have, and especially like the process of where you're trying to expand it to. I think it's gonna be super dope. So tell the people a little bit about Silence the Critics.
Oh, so Silence the Critics is a digital platform that gives a voice to everybody, like whether you're an entrepreneur, athletes, for your craft, for your desired craft. My motto or the mantra is let your actions speak louder than their words, and that's something you've heard all the time growing up as a kid. Like, oh, let your actions speak louder than their words. You hear it in every field, and initially, I was going to cater it to athletes, because in the athletic world is, as you know, it's very hard you got critics everywhere. But then somebody told me you should broaden your horizon, and I was like, you know what, because it applies to every level of whether you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna expand it. Entrepreneurs, whoever, music artists, let's do it. So let your actions speak louder than their words is really, for me, I was like, yeah, I like that. And then I came up with it during COVID.
Okay.
I mean, we were on lockdown, didn't have nothing to do. So me and my homeboy were just spraying off ideas of what we wanted to do for each other, like with life. For next, we didn't know how long COVID, what it was going to do.
Exactly.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this. And I always preach about giving back. No matter what I do, I was like, I want to give back. How can I give back? And I'm like, bro, I'm blessed enough I have the opportunity now. Let me do now. Let me give back now. I'm coaching. But here in COVID stopped that, so I'm like, okay, let me get back. What other ways? And I came up with that. It took off from there, bro. It's just, we do hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeves, t-shirts. It doesn't matter. Like we cater to custom. Like if you want a certain color, I do it all. It just depends. The quote for it. Another quote we have is "Be you, don't be anyone but yourself." And like I had somebody ask me, what does that mean? Be authentic. It doesn't no matter, don't change or try to construe who you are for anybody else. Be you.
Yeah.
Don't be anybody but yourself. So it's like, and it's crazy I say that because in the pickup game, in the men's league game, some dude he was barking at me. He was like, yeah, I'm guarding him. So I poked him in the chest. I was like, yo, be you. And I was like,
Yeah,
I was like,
that's how you know it's sticking.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I gotta stick. Bro.
That's the one. So with this digital platform, and I know you sell like you're doing merch, but what does that digital platform for the entrepreneurs, for the athletes, for the lawyers, the doctors, what does that kind of entail? That service base that you're doing for that.
So what I've done recently, I did like photo shoots with like a couple of my players and athletes, but I've started doing interviews as well,
Mm-hmm.
like little questionnaires, like spotlights,
Yep.
which kind of asks them who they are, their favorite movie and stuff, but what got them into their craft.
Yeah.
So for you, I would ask, what made you, what got you, what inspired you, not what made you, what inspired you, or who inspired you to be a podcaster, or hearing your desired, your goal, like your
Yeah.
dream. Who pushed you to do that dream?
Right.
What pushed you? And I've had a young photographer, Jackson Barrett. He's a freshman at Prince George, and I asked him. He pretty much gave me the rundown of what inspired him to do everything. I'm like, okay, so just typing it up, and I did one. I'm doing more and more. So it's like I feel doing that, it helps it helps me with the brand get out, but
Yep.
it helps people get to know them deeper than just somebody who's playing on a basketball court, somebody on a football field, or a lawyer. You get to know that person.
Yeah. I like the thought process with it because in this space, right, a podcast, blog, interview, those things like that, you wonder how do you get exposure, and the best way to do it, and the way I'm figuring it out now is like, this interview thon that I'm doing, where I'm trying to, whoever wants to interview, whoever wants to talk, let's get up and let's do it, right? That's where I'm finding the expansion, because now it's like, of course I went to go talk to like celebrities, quote unquote, right? Where that's cool and that's dope, and people are like, oh, you get in the room with them, that's cool, that's dope. But like getting in the room with the common people, where we're like all chasing the dream, we're all down here, we're not there yet, but we're all aspiring to get there, right? That's where the expansion comes, because now somebody sees this and they like, oh, I know Nate, I know what he's doing. Oh snap, he on a podcast. Whether the podcast is big or not, having a camera is gonna make it look like it's big, right?
Exactly.
But getting the story out there is going to be huge, not only for, and I'm saying this for both of us, not only for your platform, but for the person that you're giving the exposure to.
That's where I'll kind of like, I want to get them out there more. I care about me, but like I said, I love helping people.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, bro. Like my therapist has told me not even knowing I'm empathetic. So I love helping people. So it's like, bro, if I can help you raise your platform, whether you're in college, high school, it doesn't matter. And really, the high school kids are mainly like, because they don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if I can help you build your name, build your brand, bro, just stack those chips, and now we're going here.
Exactly.
Like I said, the kid from Jackson, man, from June of last year to now, the kid has over 4,300 followers on Instagram. And it's like, yeah, he's really state playoffs. He took pictures for Dinwiddie State playoffs, championship, and then more. He's took pictures for ESTG. So VCU. So his clientele is going up.
Right.
And I'm just like, he's like, how do I stay? I'm like, bro, just be you. Just keep being you. Don't change for nobody else, bro. And like, I've given him advice. I've told him, like, he has Instagram. I was like, you need to make a TikTok now, because now TikTok, social media is going to be helpful for everything. Twitter and TikTok, as you know, Twitter, you can retweet something. That's
it can get
a
out,
photo
yeah.
can give a photo or video, and he does both. TikTok same way. So it's like, now Instagram is cool, but expand your social media.
Yeah. So take us back a little bit before Silence the Critics. So, I know we was talking about hoop for a minute, whole bunch of hoop, and then I know, but they don't. You were coaching. So how'd you get into the coaching world?
Man, I got into coaching accidentally. I say that accidentally. I say it with pride, but I accidentally got into coaching, and I say that because I started coaching when I was 21. And I was like, bro, like, what? Like, assistant coaching? No. I'm like, head coach. I had my own AU team, Foundation Academy Sports. My guy, David Anderson, big love for him, man. I started working there, and then I was, like, telling him about what I wanted to do in life. And he's like, okay. And then one day during work, he came up to me. He was like, you want to coach the AU team? I was like, huh? And I was like, he was like, yeah, like, head coach. I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, 5th grade. I was like, okay. So I'm not really knowing I was like, I know about coaching because my guy Brad Byerson.
Shout out B.
Yeah, shout out to Big B. I was helping him. Like I was coaching up under him as well. Like assistant coach with JV at Thomas Jail. By the way, we only lost 5 games. The 3 years we were there, we lost 5 games.
Talk about it.
And I'm like, yo, people, it's underrated. I'll get into that, but that's underrated. But I'm like, bro, 5th grade, I had a team full of 5th graders, bro. And I always wanted to coach. When I started coaching, my idea was to start young and then go older, especially if I was going to have the head coach. Because at the time, I'm 21. These kids are 5th grade. They're like 10, 11 years old. So I'm only 9, 10 years older than them. And they're like, bro. They're looking at me. I'm looking at them like, bro. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about, but their parents, it was their parents.
Yeah.
He's young. I'm like, dog, I know. It's like
it's hard. Yeah,
it was hard. My first year, it was hard, bro, because here again, it wasn't mainly the players. Like boys, I knew what it was being a boy, so I know how to talk to them, know how to get them to respond, and it really wasn't the basketball part. It was the being outside of basketball, being a big brother.
Yep.
So a lot of them, like they were either the oldest or their only child. So I became the big brother for them.
Yep.
And I told their parents the first practice meeting. I had a meeting with the parents. I said, hey, if he's messing up at home, come talk to me. I said, home, school, whatever, come talk to me. And I said, I would deal with it in practice. And they're looking at me like, what? I was like, y'all can deal with it at home as well, but let me in practice. If he can't come to practice, no, bring him to practice. I'll handle it. And I had one kid, his name is MJ. He goes to Benedict 18 now. And he was like his grades, messing up in school. And I want to say it was either his 5th grade or his 6th grade. His mom didn't want him to go to the tournament. I said, no, bring him to practice. So he ran the whole practice until as coach said, I get tired. So I made him run and then switch from running to wall sits. It was punishment. He couldn't do nothing. And then I made him shoot free throws as well. And if he missed, the whole team had to run. They had to run anyway because he got in trouble. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, I don't want him to come to the tournament. I said, no, bring him to the tournament. I convinced her. I talked her into coming to the tournament because she didn't want him to go at all. He came. We lost our first game by 20. I looked at him on the bench and I told him, I said, this is your fault. Because I only had 5 or 6 guys. I had 7 guys. He was out, so it made 6. I only had 1 sub. So I turned to him. I said, this is your fault. He was crying and everything. So I said, after the game, we talked about it to the whole team. He apologized at practice, but I made him apologize to the team and the players. And he was like, it won't happen again. Didn't have a problem at him. After that, didn't have no problem. And it's like, some kids need that. Yeah. So I learned at that quick, some kids needed they need a coach who can just snap them back into it.
Yeah, that tough discipline, especially in sports where it's okay, it's not going to be the whooping punishment, right? No. It's not like that, but that running and that wall sits,
bro,
for and you had practice for an hour and a half.
2 hours, bro.
Yeah, you got a 2-hour practice, bro. Man, and then y'all lose. It's all that kind of compiles on itself where it's just yeah, man, I'm gonna make sure I don't do this again.
He was already upset anyway because he couldn't play.
Exactly.
And he thought it was only gonna be for a half. I tried to convince his mom to a half. She was like, no, she didn't want him to play at all. So I was like, you know what? He not gonna play. So I told him. And he was upset, and then I finally talked to him. She came to him, and she was like, he could play the other game. Yeah. So he played, and I was like, bro, we ended up winning the tournament because now you see, the motivation that he had. He had motivation, but it was bro, I'm not getting in trouble.
Exactly.
No more, bro. He was, he a lefty, so he hard to guard anyway.
Yep.
His skill level has gotten better over the years. And it's just dog, listen, do your school, and it was just simple. It was simple stuff. It wasn't he was acting up in class.
Right.
It just wasn't. His grades had dropped, so I was like, "Yep, bring him to practice, bro."
Yeah.
He made an example. I had to make an example out of him, but
yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, nah, I'm right there with you, bro. Because I coached at a private school, and one day, so they do. I was only going in there for one day a week. I wasn't the head coach anymore, but I coached them prior, their head coach. So when I came in on Wednesdays, they'll have they'll work out, then they'll go do either lifting or yoga or something like that. They was with the PE teacher, they was wilding out. She ended up canceling her session early, so they came back downstairs. I'm like, yo, this ain't time. Why y'all still down here? They was like, Coach, we was in there acting crazy. And they look at me like big brother because I'm only, 25, 26. They about to be, they seniors, juniors, and seniors now. So I'm like, that's cool, bro.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and get on that baseline, big dog.
That's I think a lot that's underrated, bro. Like I told them, coach, my coaching philosophy, bro. I hate being up early. I hate that's anything, not even coaching. I hate waking up before 8 o'clock. I feel like that's a personal. That should be a crime to be up before 8 o'clock, bro. And you know, you got an 8 o'clock game. You gotta be there at 7.
Yeah, you gotta be there.
Bro, we had a tournament in Fredericksburg. We played at 8 o'clock. So I mean, I had to leave at 6 to be there at 7.
Yep.
Like I told them prior to the tournament, I told them in front of their parents, Coach Nate does not like morning games. 8 o'clock in the morning, do not talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. I haven't ate yet. Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Y'all better come out here and do what you're supposed to do. Bro, we get to the game. They're warming up all lackadaisical. I'm like, so I knew what kind of time it was.
Yeah.
I called them in. I was like, yo, y'all get y'all shit together. Like, I knew it. And I was like, so we started the game. They're like, okay, coach. They're warming up harder. Started the game. I'll say, like, the first 2 minutes, I called a timeout. I said, ref, I needed 30. He was like, full of 30. I said, but I don't need the whole 30. Took 10 seconds. I cussed him out, and I sent him right back out there. Changed the whole changed the whole
dynamic.
I was like, y'all know I don't play. I was like, bro, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, get together. And I didn't even, I cussed it, but it was like, that was it, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm not most coaches are really loud, like Phil Knight kind of guy. I'm not. That's not me. I'm a laid back person. I'll cuss you out, or I'll chew you out. In my whole demeanor, you can tell by my demeanor more than my voice. I don't have to be loud, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need your parents. I don't need parents to hear me. I'm gonna talk to you 1-on-1, just like now. And if you understand, all right, cool. Your tone tells you a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, all right, coach. Yeah, he's serious. Like, I laugh and joke with you, but
when it's business.
Yeah,
business.
After practice, bro. Even the team I had last year, bro. I laugh and joke with them the whole time. But when it's game time, bro, it's game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
So what did you coach last year?
VA Havoc.
Okay, yeah.
So we got guys from point guard Kenny DeGuzman up at Potomac, shooting guard Peter Mitchell from Potomac,
Yeah.
Makai Byerson at Manchester, Sean Long at Hopewell, Cameron Mize at Hopewell. We got Malachi Cosby at Veranda.
Yeah, I got some guys over there.
I forgot Ben's last name, but he's at Massaponics. So we got guys all over, bro.
Yeah.
Like, here again, of course, you know Brad. So Brad was a little more when it comes to two different coaching styles, parents loved it because I'm more of the laid back coach to compare to Brad.
Yeah.
So when it came to like problems, he'll cuss them out. Bro, there's been times Brad will call a timeout and I'll jump up and he'll be like, no, sit. I'm like, oh shit. Like, that's how I know they're about to get in trouble. Like, he don't even need the whole team. He just needs to 5 on the floor.
Exactly.
And like he'll cuss them out like, what the fuck are you? I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And that goes back to our JV. Where JV is like, bro, like I said, we lost 5 games in 3 years. And that's freshman, sophomore, like a lot of these kids grew up with us and it was like, dog, practice, bro, we didn't call fouls in practice. Hell no. We didn't call fouls. Certain drills we didn't do out of bounds because we know the ref isn't going to give us to us because of Brad.
Yeah.
It's not because of like me or it's because of Brad. Like, because Brad played at Thomasdale. So a lot of these refs, they refed him. They knew how he played. And we had one ref. He didn't it was like 2 refs. They didn't call nothing because of Brad. Strictly because of him. And he ended up getting a technical foul. And like, that's a big dude, bro.
Right,
so,
yeah.
He's like,
when you that big, bro, you're not gonna get that many fouls anyways.
And that's what we had to kind of like let them know, like, bro, we played through that shit. Like,
yeah,
just play through it, bro. Like, if he run up on you, elbow. We didn't care. We cared, but like at the same time, protect yourself.
Yeah,
it's like a protect yourself kind of thing, bro.
So with all this coaching and then like Silence the Critics is kind of the same regards where it's like giving the spotlight to whoever it is, but you started off giving the spotlight to kids. Where does and you said like you're empath. I don't know how to say that shit.
It's sympathy, sympathy, and then
empathy. Okay, like empathetic, something like that.
Yeah.
They know.
Y'all know what it means, man.
So when it came to like having that kind of demeanor and that kind of attitude, where does that come from? Does that come from your parents? Does that come from, like you were saying, you've been through a lot? Like how?
Honestly, I think I want to say my parents. I grew up. That's just how I always grown up. My dad is the same way, but he's more like me and my dad are like a lot alike in a lot of ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
we get emotional, but we get quiet.
Yeah.
So if something's bothering us, whether we're upset, we get really quiet. But it's like so you could tell when something's wrong because we get too quiet.
Exactly.
We're talking, we're in a good mood, but when something's wrong or like I said, when we're sad about it, it's like you're too quiet. What's wrong? So
Exactly.
I've grown. I got that from my dad. My mom same way in a way. My attitude really comes. Everything comes from my dad, bro. Like stuttering. Even when I get mad, my dad when he gets mad, he stutters, bro. So it's like if I get mad, like I'm like yeah, it's like yep.
It's
I
running the
know, yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect. But it's like yeah, bro. Growing up, like just that's I've always been that way. Like I have to fix it. Like somebody's telling me that like what's wrong, I feel like I need to fix. Like give me your problems. Let me try to fix that.
You're right.
And I trigger that on the coaching in a way. If outside of basketball, whatever's going on, bro, talk to me. Like let me be your outlet. And I'll say, last year for AU, we were in Indiana and we had a tournament. We're all the way in Indiana and a couple of players that played with this kid, he got shot and killed. That night, the early that night, like I want to say my birthday was that Friday. Yeah, that like the night on the ninth, he got like early in the morning. Um, he got shot and killed, and like played the game. Parent mom, she's calling and she's calling Brad. He didn't answer, so she called me, and I'm like.